In this video, I'm going to show you the workflow that I use to go from building an app in Lovable to taking that code, importing it into Cursor, and then continuing to build the app in Cursor. Here's a job board that I built in Lovable. So all you need to do is go up to the top right. We need to connect to GitHub. So I'm going to click Connect GitHub. You need to make sure that your GitHub is already connected to Lovable. If not, you just press the button to connect. Then we're going to go down to project. We're going to click transfer project into my GitHub account. Great. So now the project is in my GitHub account, and we have this URL here to copy the code to our local environment. So all we have to do is copy that code. We're going to go to Cursor now. So here's Cursor. This is the homepage of Cursor. We're going to click clone repo, paste in that repository. We're going to click clone from GitHub here. Paste in the repository. Go back to clone repo, paste it in and say clone from URL. Clone from GitHub, I think we would only want to use the less of that URL, but we're going to do clone from URL. We are going to select, it doesn't really matter. We'll select whatever folder you want in your repository, and then we're going to click open. Okay, great. So now this code is all locally on my system. It's the same code that we were using here in Lovable. It's the same app, but now it is local on the system. So if I open up our toggle pane, and then what'll happen is, let's say you want to run this locally on your system, you would run npm run dev. I'll run that in the terminal, but what's going to happen is there's going to be an error. So I'm going to add that to Composer, and I'm going to say, I got this error when trying to run locally. How do I fix it? So it's going to install the right dependencies. And this is something that just you have to do when you bring it from Lovable and then to your local system. Now I can run it if I open this link locally. Now we are on our local host, and here's the same app. So this is local, and then behind it is the version in the cloud that is attached to GitHub and also Lovable. So let's say we want to make a change. Let's, in Cursor, say, please, why don't I go ahead now and just open a new Composer, make sure you're an agent. I'm going to say, please change the header background color to blue instead of purple. So I'll pause the video, or I'll just let Cursor do it. It won't take too long. So you can see Cursor basically is searching the code base. It found it. It's updating it. And then if I go back here, now we can see it updated it. So I'm going to say, actually, you updated the nav bar, but I want the header section to be blue. So I'm going to send that message. And I'm not going to worry about too much making sure that it's like actually correct. I want to focus on the workflow here. But anyway, it fixed it. And now hopefully it is able to find this purple in the header that I wanted and update it. So it says it's doing it right now. And there we go. Now we have this in blue, which is what I requested. And this is local. So this is on the local host here. If I go back to Lovable, you can see it still is the same. But what I'm going to show you is if we push this to GitHub, so we're going to do git add dot git commit dash update header color git push origin me. So those are the three commands you need to do to push it to your GitHub. And then now that I did that, we'll just give it a second to run. But if I refresh my Lovable app, we can see here, now it says we can see that external commit update header color. If I refresh the page, it might just take a second here because it has to basically go from GitHub to now Lovable and update it. And there we go. So now that update that we made on Cursor is now reflected here in Lovable. And now let's do the opposite. Let's say we want to make a change here in Lovable. So let's make the change the logo color from purple to blue. So we'll just do a quick change here, and I'll pause the video while Lovable makes that change. So here it changed the color of the logo on Lovable, but here on our local host, if I refresh it, it's the same because the local host is just taking the code from our local computer, not from the cloud, which is where Lovable is getting the code from, so from GitHub. So to get that code from Lovable onto Cursor, and this is something that you definitely want to do if you make changes on Lovable before you get back to Cursor, in the terminal here in Cursor, we want to do git pull origin main. So I'm just going to do that. It should pull everything in from GitHub. And then if I refresh, I didn't even have to refresh. Now I'm on the local host still, and it updated and is synced now with GitHub and Lovable. If you have an AI app idea, but you don't have the time to build it, click the link in the description and I'll match you with a vetted AI developer to help you build your idea. Be sure to subscribe to our channel to get more free content like this, and leave a comment below with your AI app idea, and I'll respond with the AI tool and APIs that you should use to build it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.